while working a full-time job. So, well, without further ado, and without you guys having to hear my awful voice anymore, take it away.
Hey guys, thank you, Bree, for the introduction. It was very nice. So yeah, I was really excited for Bree to ask me to host because I've never done this before. Well, actually, I did it with my best friend doing the Success Club. It's not Success Partner information, but first time by myself. So I'll talk a little bit about me and kind of like how I've stayed consistent, and hopefully that will help you. So I guess Bree said I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 11 years. I traveled all over the country doing different assignments for like 3 to 6 months for about 5 to 7 years. And I went back and forth from the East Coast to the West Coast and decided to settle in the West Coast for a while. We have a lot of people on my sister and my mom are on our team. So they're in Iowa, and my brother lives in Nashville. So we're all spread out. So travel has been a huge part of my life through family and through friends. And I've had to make this business work and also my own health and fitness journey work with the traveling. So yeah, I love to travel. I'm always going somewhere. I probably go somewhere like every month or two. And if I haven't, I'm getting really, really antsy. So a little about my health and fitness journey. When I was heavy my entire life, up until the time I was about 25, I was heavy through high school, and I maxed out at 320 pounds. When I was 25, I fell and I broke my ankle, and I developed really bad arthritis in both of them from being on my feet as a nurse. It was kind of my hit rock bottom breaking point that I'm like, I have to do something. So I jumped on the diet bandwagon, and I lost 100 pounds doing kind of like meal replacement meals. I got 1,000 calories a day. I didn't learn anything about health and nutrition or anything about fitness. I just lost the weight. I knew that I had a cruise coming up, so that's why I was losing the weight. And once the cruise was over, I decided that I didn't want to do the meals anymore. And so I just stopped. So I didn't learn any healthy eating habits. I didn't learn how to work out. I didn't learn anything. I did this, 100 pounds. I lost 100 pounds in a year. And I had a lot of friends do it with me, and actually they did not have success keeping it off. And that really bothered me, and my weight started creeping back on. And over the next 4 years, I kind of bounced between 20 to 30 pounds, and I would run, I would try to eat healthy, but with my travels and not really learning the healthy eating, I was failing. And I saw my sister, Carrie Rouse. She had done Insanity. She was doing a challenge group, and she was telling me about the 21-day fix, and I was like, hey, I think I can do that. I really need to do something else. I need to be healthy, and I don't want to jump back on the diet bandwagon. I don't want to but I also don't want to keep losing or going back and forth. I want to make this a change for life. And as a nurse, I know that how much health affects good and bad someone's life. And I wanted to turn my life around in a healthy way, and not just jump between diets all the time. So Carrie asked me to be in a challenge group, and I did the 21-day fix, and I lost like 10 to 15 pounds, and which was great. I felt great. I loved the program. And then I kind of bounced back and forth. Some of our other people do, they kind of come and go. It doesn't click. I did that a couple times. And last November, it was at Thanksgiving time. I went to see my brother. My parents were there, and I saw my pictures after my sister's wedding. I had I'd lost like another 10 pounds, and I put it back on. I'm like, seriously? Like, I didn't want to do this yo-yo thing. So I recommitted back in December and have been all in since then, and really started doing the coaching side of it too in January, and just have kind of been learning, as we all do, learn as we go. In January, I had like a mindset change, and that's kind of where it started to click. I wanted to stop losing weight, but just to do it to become healthy, and then the weight loss will follow. I've learned a lot of like health and fitness journeys are all about consistency, and whether you eat a bad meal one day, but just get back on, whether you skip one day, get back on. Like it's not perfect. It's progress, not perfection. And that's where I have been able to see my results. And I'm grateful that that's how this program works. Not that you should be going on and off, but it definitely it's a learning experience. And that's where I've learned through like the personal development that to really understand the issues that I have with food and my own journey. And that's been able to help me stay on track even more. Another thing I've learned with my journey is that I don't want to compare. I did a lot of comparing, even like growing up between my siblings and even my parents. I did not come from a healthy background and eating wise. And I know they're on the call, but we have owned up to that. But that also, as our own fitness journeys have transformed, it's easy to compare since we're kind of all in this Beachbody thing together. And I've learned that we all have our own journeys and we're going to do it at our own pace. So about coaching, because I'm a nurse and because I have really enjoyed the mission of Beachbody and how they do focus on the health and not really weight loss, I think it's a great program for anybody. So as I started to share my journey, people throughout my entire journey have been very inspired, but I also felt like I wasn't being able to do them a service by just saying, oh, you inspire me so much. But I wanted to be able to put action into those words and also into that, like that passion of mine to help people get healthy. So that's why I started coaching, and that's how I share my story with other people, is that they, that's what train of thought. That they're doing it for getting healthy and the weight loss to follow, not really the weight loss and then health will come later. So I'd be able to say in the coaching aspects of the business, I've been able to do challenge groups with Carrie, and now my best friend Elle is on the call too. We do a lot of challenge groups together, and she's one of my emerald coaches, allowing me to be diamond. So we are rocking this business together and learning together. Probably my key things about being successful, how I become successful, same way in my fitness journey, I apply it to my coaching business, is that consistency pays off. And consistency can look different for everyone. I know that Beachbody and us, we focus a lot on the vital behaviors, which we're supposed to do. We're supposed to invite, we're supposed to be proof the product works and do our personal development. But I work 12-hour shifts. So, and I actually leave the house at 6 a.m. and I don't get home until 8:15. So doing all those 4 vital behaviors every day can be really daunting. And I know when I first started in the business, I really struggled with, for one, comparing the coaching business to other people, but also being able to get all those vital behaviors in every single day. And it really got me to the point where I'm like, I don't want to do this. So I had to kind of like, I'm like, I really do want to help people get healthy and fit and be an inspiration to them and help them on their journey. But the business side of it was really daunting for a while. So I kind of, when Bree asked me to talk, I kind of started thinking about how I became successful and what changed for me. Consistency for me means that, like, on the days that I work, I be proof the product works. I get my workout in. I eat right. I listen to personal development on my way to work. Those are like, that's all I can master in those 3 days a week that I work. On the other days, I really dive into doing those three, but I also do all the inviting and following up with people and posting about challenge groups and, everything else that we have to do. So those, made the business mine and being able to work it for me. And that's what you have to do, is figure out what works for you, get those vital behaviors in any way that you can. And you, like, if you don't want to be missing a bunch of days, you know, it's kind of like working out. If you miss a day, don't skip 2 days, because it'll get easier and easier to fall off. But if you miss one day and like inviting people, then the next day, if your goal is to message 10 people a day and you didn't do it, then message 10 people or 20 people the next day. However, whatever works for your schedule, just get it in. And that consistency will continue to develop new relationships and be able to work the business. So don't compare. Figure out what works for you, which I don't know who all is on the call or who will listen to this, but I'm single. I work 3 days a week, but it's still very tough because I do love to travel and I'm always on the go. I work long shifts and I have things going on just like anybody else. So we have to figure out what works for us. And, you know, we're here to learn from each other, but also to not say, like, if I'm doing what Bree's doing, it may not work for me, or what Carrie's doing or Elle's doing, whatever. But we're learning from them and what we need to do. So learning, but staying consistent and finding your own mojo in the business. Let's see. I have notes, but I think I compare my coaching business a lot to my own fitness journey, where I'm like progress, not perfection. I tell that to a lot of my challengers. It's not going to blossom overnight. It's not going to, if you miss one day, it's not going to ruin your business, but it's the little things every day that you're going to do that are going to make it work in the long run. Let's see. And then just sharing your story. Everyone in this business has a story. I just shared mine. Carrie has a different one. Bree has a different one. Elle has a different one. But people are watching, whether they're coming to you or not, and like whether they're reaching out to you or whether they're not, and whether they're responding to your messages, doesn't mean that they're not watching. And they just want to be able to know that when they do say yes, that you're going to be there for them, and you're going to know the product, and you're also going to know how to guide them too, and that you've been successful. So those are the ones that are going to stick. And if you're not sharing your story and you're just talking to them, then you're just like another salesperson. You know, you're just like another like rodent in fields. That's what I've seen a lot in my news feed recently. And I'm like, I don't know any of those people that are posting. I don't know their journey with rodent and fields. I don't think they've ever posted their own transformation with rodent and fields. They only post transformation photos of other people. So they're not sharing their stories. I have no connection with them. This business is about connection. I know in Super Saturday they talked about, they always talk about this, but it's just people helping people. We just have a product that we're selling, but ultimately no product is going to make someone buy it. So it's us making those connections with them and showing them how it works, and that you are going to be there for them. So I think that's it. I don't even know.
Thanks. So I got some really good points out of your talk. Sorry, I'm talking like I have something in my throat. I feel like I'm like stuttering. I think it's important what you mentioned about if you miss a day, it's just like your workouts. You don't skip the whole week and go, oh, screw it. You say, okay, what can I do the next day to make up for lost time and just get back in it? You don't, get down on your knees and say, I can't now because I missed a workout. So like now I can't finish this 30-day program because I messed up or whatever. I think it's important because I did the same thing when I worked full time, and those 12-hour shifts, I'm sure you get home and you're like, man, the last thing I want to do is message 10 people and talk on Facebook. And I think it's really important to know your limits, know your boundaries, and the fact that you're focusing so much on your personal journey and letting that speak for itself is what makes a really strong foundation. As a coach, you could build really fast, but people wouldn't understand like what we're about and the true foundation of what we're built on. And I see coaches in this business, and if you sign up for like a big paycheck, you don't get it. Like, you don't quite understand how to help somebody if you haven't done a challenge group, if you haven't done anything for your own journey, whether it's weight loss or not. You know, if it's self-confidence, you know, people can feel those vibes in your posting, in your story, if you're just focusing on you. And so if you're missing that part, you know, you have to really check your gut and say, like, am I doing the things that I'm asking? You know, if somebody was to purchase a program or purchase Shakeology, am I drinking it every day? Am I doing my workouts? Am I committing to a program, or am I bouncing around and kind of on demanding it and, you know, bouncing from workout to workout, or maybe skipping one because I don't have a really good plan? So I think that's really important, that just because you miss a day doesn't mean you have to skip a year or a week or a month. Like, you got to get back on that horse the next day and say, what am I going to do to make sure that I succeed today? And if you skip that day, then you go, okay, day 3, what am I going to do to really get back on track and get in a groove? Because then a week goes by and you've done nothing productive. So I really appreciate you sharing. Does anybody have any questions for Jami? I think it's really cool, especially with the product launch of Core to Force. You know, we all have different goals in our fitness journey. And I think if you can figure out what your fitness and health goal is and what's going to best help you achieve that with your life, and then find a good personal development book that's going to go right alongside with that to build your inner confidence. This business is very simple. Like, you might not grow fast. You might not become a top 10 coach. You know, that's not on my goal board. Like, I don't know about y'all. We all have different goals in this business. But mine is not to be a top 10 coach, right? Mine is to grow steady. Mine is to eventually retire my boyfriend. Jami, you said you love traveling. So I'm sure, like, financially that helps a lot, you know, and being able to create that freedom to take time off of your nursing job. You know, whatever it is. I'm reading a book right now, and she said, and it's so funny you said Rodan and Fields, because she actually is, like, at the very top of Rodan and Fields, the girl that wrote this book. And I was actually Facebook messaging her today. It was crazy. I went and looked at her page, and she added me from an Instagram post that I had made about her book. And so we're going to chat more, but she might actually be on our call. So we won't tell her that we talked about Rodan and Fields. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. That did happen, but I don't think she would ever care. She probably says the same thing about companies. But so now I lost my train of thought. But in her book, she was, what was I talking about? My brain just went, done. That freedom, focusing, gosh.
What?
What's this thing you keep talking about?
Rodan and Fields? What is it? I don't even know what you guys are even talking about.
It's like a skin product line.
Oh, yeah. Rodan and Fields is a skin. I was like, what?
It's from Proactive.
It's a network marketing business, and they have, like, it's skincare basically. So anyway, regardless of that, her book is really good. It's called Get Over Yourself, basically. I'm not going to cuss on her.
I've seen you've been reading that.
Yeah. It's really, really good. I highly suggest it. Anyway, I totally forgot what I was, like, where I was going with that, because I totally got off track. Oh, man.
It was like linking your workout with, like, Core to Force, and, like, finding the reason that you're doing it.
Yeah, your why. Okay, I was talking about income. That's right. Thank you. So she links your why has to, I know we've talked about, like, peeling back the layer of, like, why do you want this? And for me, it'd be really easy to be like, well, it's financially. Like, financially, I want this to work, right? But honestly, like, every Thursday, that's not what gets me to show up, right? It doesn't like fuel me. In 5 years, if I'm making the same amount and Aaron's working his job, it's kind of like, okay. So, like, what would that income do? So she asked you to peel back the layers of, like, what is it in this business that makes you really want to show up every day? Because if you don't have a real big reason to show up every day, or reason that you signed up as a coach, you won't do the work. Like, you just won't. You won't do it enough to make this a business. So she has prompted questions in the beginning of the book to say, okay, what is your why? And then go beyond that and be like, if it's income or whatever it is, why would that matter if you reached that goal? So what would change and what would be better in your life because of that? So for me, income, right? Why income? because I am so sick of seeing my little girl cry when Aaron has to go to work, right? So the income, what would the income do? It would bring Aaron home, right? So you've got to really connect why you're showing up every day, why you're messaging 10 people a day. Because if you don't have a strong vision of where you're going or what you want out of this, it's pointless, right? Like there's no meat in your business driving you forward. I watch Gary Vee videos all the time, Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's like, you have to be real honest with yourself if you're willing to put in the work for what you say you want. Because a lot of people say, oh, I don't have time, right? Like, miracle morning, get up at 4:30, right? Like I could probably be a lot further along if I wasn't sleeping in. So like you have to ask yourself, how bad do I want it? What am I willing to sacrifice? And what is my driving factor in showing up every day? So Jami, like you like traveling, you have this, passion for nursing, but like what would that mean if you could start helping people before they're in the hospital, before they need medicine and doctors, right? Like that's amazing. What would it mean to have a team of people that you've saved before they needed saving, right? So I think really connecting to that inner, deeper why. We all want money. Money's great. We all want new cars. Like I'd love for somebody to hand me a Lexus, right? Like that'd be sweet. But if I was fighting for a Lexus, I probably wouldn't fight as hard as if I was fighting for like Aaron is going to quit his job in 2017, right? Like that is a visual that I have placed in front of me that I'm like, that is a real thing. Like I can work for that. If it was a car, I'd be like, man, we have a car, right? Like it no meat in it. So I want you to this weekend really, really dive in and focus on like, why are you showing up? Why be on team calls? Why train? Why go out there and message people? Why run challenge groups, right? Why do that over and over and over for maybe 2-3 years before you really see any like productive meat in your business? I mean, the paychecks are great, the couple $100s or the commissions, but like you have to look at the bigger picture. Like I've never been that like small bread and butter person. I'm like, I want the meat and potatoes. I want like this bigger vision for my family. So start writing it down, visualizing it. They say it is more effective if you speak it, if you write it, if you say it out loud and you visualize it and you read it, that you will start making it happen more than in your head. If you're like, oh, I wish I could be like Lindsay Matway, or like, wish I could be like that coach, or making what that coach is doing, visualize it for yourself and see what would it mean if that was to actually happen, right? Why do you want this? So I really appreciate you talking and sharing your story. It means a lot to see faces on our team and, hearing stories from coaches on our team. I know we're like slowly growing and, like becoming this bigger team, but I feel like we all have a pretty close-knit core, and I want it to always be that way. Because I think it's so important that we have our stories and we share internally, like in our team page, and, help one another. Because it's definitely not fun to do this alone. And it's definitely not fun to like be running by yourself in this business. And nobody should ever have to feel like, this is a solo thing, that you're out there floundering. Like there's no secrets. There's no like, oh, she made diamond in X days and she made this rank and makes this much money. Because like you said, everybody's journey looks so completely different. I was surrounded by like coaches that are like top 10. Like my whole upline team is like Anita Meyer, Rainer Odell, Leslie, like they're all top 25, like Millionaires Club. And I'm over here like, hey, like I'm just going to be standing over here. Like, and at the end of the day, I was talking to my corporate mentor, and he's like, corporate doesn't look any less of people if they don't hit elite, right? There are a lot of people that are making substantial income and making difference in their families' lives that aren't an elite coach, or that aren't like whatever, you think you need to be in this business. I still get help. I still get, our team still is getting support from corporate and helping me guide you guys. Like, so I think it's so important to remember that your journey is your journey. And at the end of the day, when you lay the chips out on the table, like, did you do what you set out to do for you and your goals? Not for what somebody else did in the business, not for what somebody else's why was or what they went after. What are you going after, and what are you willing to sacrifice to get there? So thank you so much. I'm really pumped. going into this holiday season, I just have to remind everybody that I told Erin, I'm like, it's like putting in 10 times the effort for like half the like pay or reward. It's a lot of work, but then you come out, and I've been through 2 New Years now in this business, and I'm like, you come out on the other side and you go, that's why I worked so hard. Like, that's why I pushed, because this explosion in your business happens and people are like, I'm ready, like I'm ready for it. I need this. And then that's when you can really cash in like all those chips of hard work, those hours you've put in, and the conversations you've had where they turn dead and they're like, Christmas, this. Like, don't let that be a roadblock in your business this season. Let it drive you, knowing that we're going into a new year, that we're going into, like a holiday season where if you can find 3 people to really help and focus them through the holidays, they could be your coaches that go into the new year to really affect people's lives in 2017. So don't lose focus just because it's the holidays. Don't lose focus because we only have 9 weeks left in the year. 2016 is still here and present, and that's where we should be working, not like I'll get it next year, right? Like, let's focus now. So stick with your goals. Stick to what you know through your fitness journey. I know for me, I've just had to set very basic goals of like, I'm only going to have 2 cocktails a week. And that sounds really silly, but when you have like holiday parties and people coming over, there's literally been a bottle of wine in my house every night from somebody, teachers are sending wine home. Like, our neighbors brought wine over. I'm like, that would be really easy to get off track. So set your goals, set your intentions for the next season, this holiday season, and really try to focus on why you're going to stay committed through this rough season and then rock out 2017. Because if you stay committed now, it will show your progress, your business, your foundation in your business will show in 2017. So I know it's a lot of work. I know you get a lot of objections and no's, and it's hard to do our workouts when we just want to eat Christmas cookies and the Halloween candy sitting on the counter. I really need to throw that away.
Just throw it away. Just throw it away.
Yeah, I know. I told Self I'd trade her for a toy.
Also this call.
Toys R Us, here we come. I was like, you get your bag of candy, and we're going to go to Toys R Us and trade it in for a toy. So.
Oh, you do that? That's cool.
Yeah. Well, not really. I will give them money, but she won't know. Anyway, well, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I am working on our calendar. I deleted it instead of posting it today, so I have to remake it tonight. But I will have that up. My plan is to have a What is Coaching live event. I've been doing them every Tuesday. So my plan is to do them every Tuesday or Wednesday through the rest of this year. So if you're busy and you're like, I really am scared to do an event like that, or I don't know how to present the coaching opportunity, talk to people about coaching, present it a little bit, and then invite to those, okay? Or send them a link to a recorded webinar from YouTube I think I have a few now on my YouTube channel, or you can download it and then upload it to your own YouTube channel, whatever you want to do, or direct them to one of these events. Because I go live, answer questions. We kind of keep it basic. I share a little bit about my story. So utilize the stuff that we have going on in the team. We have a new Coach Basics group starting on Monday. We have a team-wide Core de Force group. So if you don't have a group, or you have a very small group and want to join in, or you like the intimate groups, whatever you want to do, I'll be posting that link for specifically Core de Force challengers or coaches. I think that's it. And then we have our event tomorrow for those of you that are local. I don't think anybody on the call besides Amanda. So we are doing something different. We're doing a coffee and what is it called? Coffee vision boarding? Coffee and crafting. So we're crafting our vision. So it's something different. We all were a little busy last week for Super Saturday. I was going to try to make it, and the babysitter, well, my mom, my mom was sick. So I didn't make it to a Super Saturday, but we're doing this. So we'll let you guys know how it went. I would encourage everybody to work on crafting their vision, even if you're not at the event. It should be fun. Oh, Ashley, yeah, you'll be there. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Thank you, Jamie, again so much. Also, I have guest speakers lined up for the whole rest of the year. So I have some pretty cool guest speakers. I'm excited. I think we're going to keep them Fridays at 9 just because switching now would be a little frustrating for some, because I know you guys work your schedules around this, but I think I'm going to be looking into switching the team call time going into the new year, because I know Friday nights we're all like, let's just like, even though most of us are moms and work and we're home anyway, Friday nights are nice to have downtime. So anyway, I will be posting about that later, but we have team call guest speakers pretty much through the rest of the year. So that'll be exciting. You don't have to just hear from me about hitting success. So I'm excited for it. I'll be posting about those too. So have a good night. I will post the recording up to the YouTube playlist, team calls. Bye guys.
Bye.
Amanda, will you stay on for a minute? Okay. I was just going to talk about tomorrow really quick.
Yeah, sorry. I hopefully have okay internet connection. It took 5 minutes to get the call to come up.
Oh, I can work on.